out of the El Paso courtroom today, where we watched Children's Hospital dispute the lease agreement with neighboring University Medical Center. It's part of the ongoing process to get the hospital off of life support. It's your money, and you told the city how you want it spent. Today, news you may not want to hear on the quality of life bond project, but maybe you like the city manager's plan. We'll talk about it. Also, the New Mexico Mobile Newsroom. On top of all that rain damage left behind from last night's storm, we have that new video today, plus your video from the powerful storms rolling through the borderland. Tonight, though, some better news from the Storm Track Weather Lab. Nicole? It's all next on ABC-7 at 9. Get ready. You become part of the day's news right now.
Live, where news comes first. From the Mesilla Valley and Las Cruces to El Paso and the borderland. This is ABC-7 at 9 on the El Paso Las Cruces CW.
Hello, everybody. I'm Bob Harp, and this is ABC-7 at 9 on the CW. Today's top stories and what you're saying about them coming up. Nicole, I can never do it without you. Nicole Gomez, our storm tracker. And you've had a very long and busy week, and it's not even Friday yet.
It's almost Friday, though. That's all that matters. And our Doppler radar not looking quite as busy as yesterday. As I mentioned, we are tracking some light rainfall, but currently, let's take a quick look at the rainfall totals we have picked up so far today. 0.69 El Paso, 0.65 Las Cruces. But coming up, we'll take a look at some more totals and track some of those storms that are currently taking place on radar. That's coming up in just a bit. Bob?
All right, looking good. Thanks so much, Nicole. Well, big developments today out of bankruptcy court between University Medical Center and El Paso Children's Hospital. The hearing was in Austin, but it was televised inside El Paso's federal courthouse. Of course, we were there too. Judge Christopher Mott ruled that Children's has to pay $150,000 a month to UMC for rent and another $1.2 million a month for services. Although nothing major was resolved, the El Paso taxpayer, you should know that this means the cash that UMC is spending on behalf of Children's will be reimbursed. That is not what dominated most of that hearing, though, today. ABC-7's Ashley Rodriguez, she was there, and she has her complete coverage. Hey, Ash.
Hey, Bob. Well, the big disagreement is rent. UMC says Children's never paid it. Children's says it never agreed to pay it. Former Children's Board Chair Sam Legate told the judge today, "I never, ever agreed to a lease." Legate doesn't believe Children's owes UMC anything. UMC claims it's owed $100 million. So what happened? Legate told Judge Mott, "We didn't have the money. UMC had all the money. We didn't have a lot to say in what went on. Were the agreements what I wanted? No. Were the agreements what we had to enter into to get the doors open? Yes."
They voted on a lease, and their CEO signed a lease.
They say that this is something that they didn't envision or that they didn't think should have happened. Well, then they should have spoken up back when it was going on.
So this back and forth, it took up the entire hearing, Bob, like 4 or 5 hours. Children's is supposed to call 6 witnesses, and after 4 hours, we only heard from 2. So this debate will resume in federal court again August 31st. Bob?
Okay, far from over, Ash, though.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for the latest from our newsroom tonight. In the meantime, the judge ruled that Children's can keep its doors open and continue to pay its attorneys, the consultants, and day-to-day costs. Also tonight, take a look at your screen. 34-year-old Michael Malone. He's the man shot and killed by a Doña Ana County Sheriff's detective yesterday. This is Malone's mugshot from a previous arrest. A sheriff's spokeswoman says the detective was serving Malone an arrest warrant at a Las Cruces motel. He was wanted for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, felon in possession of a firearm, and battery against a household member. Our New Mexico mobile newsroom crews, you probably saw yesterday, was on the scene within minutes of that shooting, getting this video of an active crime scene. Investigators say Malone jumped out of his motel window and fired a shot at the detective, who shot back, killing Malone. Tonight, that detective is on paid leave while this case is reviewed. Joel Garcia will go on trial pretty soon next month. It's now set for August 28th for the start of the trial. He is accused of driving drunk on Christmas Eve and crashing into another car, killing 3 people. Police officers say that he admitted to doing it, and even blood test results show that he was drunk, according to police. But the judge is not allowing that as evidence, saying officers did not have a warrant to get that blood test, and they got his confession before reading him his rights. On top of that, again, the trial set for August 28th, but today we saw the judge in the case warn the families of any outbursts, saying that they will be kicked out of the courtroom if they become a distraction in any way. Well, the search also continues tonight for a man who escaped from the La Tuna Federal Prison. 21-year-old Edgar Perez Flores. He was reported missing yesterday. He's described as an Hispanic man, 5'5", and weighs about 180 pounds. La Tuna is in Anthony, Texas, just north of El Paso on the state line, right next to Wet n Wild Water World. Perez is currently serving a 5-year prison sentence on cocaine charges. If you happen to know where the man is, you're asked to call the U.S. Marshal's Office, which is heading this investigation. Well, Monica is criticizing the prison, though, for not announcing the escape immediately, saying, "Thanks for the heads up." A day later, Christina is saying he's probably across the border by now. And Gerardo saying he has a prediction. What a fool. When he's captured, he will have added time and not leave maximum security. It is the search right now tonight for a Las Cruces woman. It continues in the southern Arizona wilderness. More than 100 people are expected to get together over the weekend to start a massive search for 44-year-old Janet Castrejon. She's been missing since her family went camping at the Rustler Park about a month ago. Now, the family searched that area every weekend, they tell us, saying that their search this weekend will be combining a 2.5-mile radius of the campsite, combing it, I should say. And Janet's father, Eduardo Castrejon, says that he's still hopeful his daughter's alive.
Obviously, we're not thinking about a search and rescue operation at this stage of the game, but something that we may have missed, somebody that could find a piece of clothing, shoe, or unfortunately, we could be looking also for a grave.
Well, the search is expected to last until Sunday evening. Castrejon says that Rustler Park will waive its fee this weekend for anybody who would like to go out there and help with the search. 2 men are dead after a small plane crash. It happened yesterday near the Truth or Consequences airport. New Mexico State Police say 48-year-old David Reesert was flying his Cessna Comanche along with his passenger, 37-year-old Jason Glenn. Federal investigators are now looking into what happened. A man is behind bars accused of attacking his girlfriend while she was driving a car they were in. Las Cruces police tonight saying 21-year-old Jesus Garcia was a passenger in the car, and he was on his way to pay off some warrants that he had, and she was driving him. But allegedly, the two got into an argument, and police say he choked the 23-year-old woman as she was driving the car. Now, they nearly crashed, according to police. Garcia is now charged with aggravated battery and criminal damage to property. Well, speaking of driving, this is news you need to know if you're on the west side. The freeway, I-10, is closed until 6 o'clock in the morning. Now, we do know the TxDOT crews are blocking the eastbound lanes on I-10 between Schuster and downtown. Again, they'll reopen tomorrow morning, so if you need to drive in that area, I'd suggest just taking Paisano or even Mesa. In the meantime, a live look at traffic, giving you an idea of what you're up against. I-10 and Schuster, there you go. It hasn't been shut down just yet. We have seen TxDOT crews get that started somewhere between 9 and 10, but the release that they gave us says 9 o'clock, so just be aware, could happen any moment. Our storm track weather coverage right now with some information and video you might be impressed by. That El Paso power outage apparently was caused because of that. Martha, who lives on the east side, sent us this video, and you can actually see that transformer exploding. It was at about 8 o'clock when she shot this video last night. El Paso Electric saying thousands of people were without power near Suez and Sumatra, which is right down the road from Album Park. And those of you in Doña Ana County really took a pounding last night. Look at this. Las Cruces got more than a month's worth of rain last night, almost 2 inches. The same goes for Mesilla, and in Radium Springs, 1.9 inches of rain. That is where the driver of this truck got stuck, and this was over by Faulkner Canyon Road over in Radium Springs, just north of Las Cruces. The road, as you can see, turned into mud and pretty much swallowed up the tires on that truck. Our New Mexico mobile newsroom crew was all over Doña Ana County today, where the roads just didn't stand a chance. Lorena Road in the village of Doña Ana, it was one of them. Our crews will also have to redo the intersection of Doña Ana Road and Hill Road. And a big thanks to all you viewers who've been sharing your video with us, showing the strong storms. This from Amy Mullins from Las Cruces, sharing this on the KVIA.com Facebook page. You can see the rain falling pretty hard there, and the wind actually blowing it around to the side. And another viewer from Cruces, this one from Serapio, shooting this on his cell phone from his house. Hey, thanks guys so much for the video, because it really does give us perspective of what you're up against out there. And we will get to Nicole in just a second. First, though, news that some of you might want to hear tonight if your homes are being threatened by water in Doña Ana County. That's because we know a lot of water has been soaking you. Well, the sandbags are free if you go to a Doña Ana County fire station. Any fire station, you can get 8 sandbags. But the fire department is asking you use them only to protect your actual home, not the rest of your property.
A lot of individuals feel that it's important that they safeguard their gardens or their landscape and things like that. And the goal ultimately for a sandbag is to prevent water from going into the home.
And here in El Paso, we got our fair share of rain overnight and in the morning hours, just like the Storm Track Weather Team called for. No major incidents other than a few fender benders on the freeway. This is video our round-the-clock news crew shot in northeast El Paso this morning. That is the area that really got hit hard. Doppler Dave was telling me earlier today 1.3 inches of rain fell there. Thankfully, no major incidents reported because of the storm. Now, Nicole, we both live out in far northeast El Paso. I got the rain all night, and I told you I have a little leak in my house, so not good.
How did that go? I forgot all about that leak.
You know, I put a bucket there, and I'm getting it fixed in the next week or two. So
yeah, we got to get that fixed. Keep in mind that August is our wettest month, so the worst is yet to come.
I'm glad I called the insurance already. Right?
I'm glad you did too. But let's
you.
talk about those rain totals that we have seen so far today, or that we did see over the past 24 hours at the El Paso International Airport. 0.69 and 0.65 up in Las Cruces. And here's some other totals on our Weather Net site sponsored by Mattress Firm. Anthony, New Mexico, 0.31. Now, our threat tracker for tonight, our rain and lightning, it'll be in the low category. We're not tracking any heavy downpours like we were last night. There's still some light activity on Doppler radar, but nothing like what we saw yesterday. Maybe a few sprinkles along I-10, West El Paso, around Canutillo, but not seeing very much lightning like we did last night. We'll also travel towards the south, just south of I-10, Sierra Blanca. Notice we are tracking that cell moving towards the west, but that's most of what we're seeing across the borderland right now, just a few sprinkles. But our current conditions out there right now, 83 El Paso, 78 Las Cruces, 77 TRC. We're also in the 70s out in Silver City. So our rain chances for today, not quite as high as they were yesterday, but will they return for the weekend? I'll talk about your weekend forecast coming up in Storm Track Weather. Bob?
Rain, rain, go away. Right, Nicole? All right, hey, Christmas is still a long ways away, and a lot of us already excited, though, about the celebration of lights going back home. For the last 2 years, you might remember the Christmas display and tree in downtown El Paso were moved over to the Cleveland Square area. That's because the San Jacinto Plaza was undergoing, and still is, big renovations. Well, we're told the renovations should be completed by this fall, meaning Christmas is back at the San Jacinto Plaza. If all goes as planned, though, you never know what's going to happen. City employees, you might remember, used to install the thousands of lights, and it cost about $120,000 every year to do that. But now the city is looking to vendors to provide, maintain, and then take down the lights.
Something like that, you always have to be careful, and maybe people won't like it, and El Paso kind of likes tradition.
I think it's going to be a very bright idea for everybody here in El Paso, and I'm excited.
And those are some folks we caught up on the street downtown. Well, Cindy is saying, bah, ha, ha. They actually think San Jacinto Plaza reservations will be completed by Christmas. You might remember it's been delayed about 3, 4, 5 times, something like that. Also, George is saying, once again, another project outsourced to do lack of planning. No wonder El Paso going down the drain. Lorraine saying, as long as it doesn't look like it did at Shaver Park a couple years ago, if you're going to do something, do it right. Remember that controversy over at Shaver Park? Oh, all right. Well, a well-known El Paso store closing down this weekend, and you can get a really good deal on some leftover goods this upcoming weekend. Plus, a challenge to all you business owners out there. The El Paso Saddle Blanket is calling you out, all in the name of helping cats and dogs get a new home. What story tonight has George saying, when is all this construction going to end at downtown so I can enjoy it? Well, he's talking about the city's decision to extend the timeline of a number of projects. More on that coming up in just a little bit. And Nicole, it felt a little like Christmas last night, I have to say. I went outside with some dogs, with my dogs. That cold air was whipping through. That rain was cold, too.
It was a little chilly, and our temperatures were cooler today, but are we expecting a warm-up and is more rain on the way? I'll have that answer in Storm Track Weather.
It's all next on ABC 7 at 9. You don't just watch the news here, you are the news. Stay with us.